Isn't that how you spell Colonel? I'm pretty sure that's Colonel.
That's Colonel?
Yeah,
Where's the
well,
er?
I I think it's just spelt like that. I think that's how you say it. Unless I like totally didn't get the gist of it in history class. I'm pretty sure that was. See, this is if we were Americans, we would understand this right from the get-go. But we are Canadians and we have no idea what we're talking about. So let's just call him Colonel. Colonel, that's what it's supposed to be.
I'm
Colonel.
staring at the chat right now, waiting for someone to scream at me. But that is the spelling of Colonel. Okay,
Yeah, see,
Colonel.
I'm not
Very
going crazy. It's Colonel, Colonel. Anyhow, we have in the bottom right-hand corner, he will be our Green Terran. He is whatever you'd like to call him. We will call him Colonel for this game. He is like KFC. But anyhow, in the top left, we have Brad Loves You. He will be our Blue Zerg. I wonder if this is another trick. They got like a little nice name and then they BM like crazy. Who knows?
Is the Overlord's gonna fly over there and start talking trash? Tell the
He's like
Marauder he's
mumbling
subbing and he
under his
can't shoot
breath.
up.
What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Yeah.
uh, Now, I'm really interested to see what the Zerg goes for when he gets that hat tree, but I'm actually more interested to see what Colonel does. I would really love to see pure mech. We always see bio, always see bio. I'd love to see a pure mech build. But going out to scout, and decently timed scout, I wouldn't say that's early, but it's not really late either. And just using the supply depot so we can get up there a little bit quicker. But this is generally the standard gas timing is around 13, 14 for Colonel. We'll be seeing if he gets that out. And we're actually seeing a hatch first by Brad Loves You, so very interesting.
Yeah, interesting on a two-player map just because he will be able to scout that right away. So let's see if he drops any bunkers or anything to try and harass that. No, it looks like he's just going to waltz into the base end. And I just realized I'm playing on low settings right now from when I was laddering, and all that middle, like, circle water just doesn't look as glorious as I remembered. It's just,
I'm
like,
on
staying still. It's just, like, it looks like ice, only not the color of ice, obviously.
I'm on low as well, and yeah, doesn't look as good. If you are on high definition, such as our stream, it actually looks gorgeous. So we see, actually, if you go and click on Colonel's SCV, he has made more waypoints than I have ever
Oh,
seen in his
God.
base.
And
There
then
we
he
go,
goes
going
and
for
drops
a
command
one
center.
racks. Yeah, going for that one racks expand, getting out that second marine, and not actually getting a reactor expand, but just choosing to go. We generally kind of see this build more against Protoss, but going for a very economic build. But he should be pretty safe considering the spawning pool just finished right now.
Yeah, exactly. And he's Brad Loves You is saturating. I'm just gonna call him Brad because I'm assuming that's his name, and I don't really want to say Loves You after every time I say his name. So, um, Brad looks like he is semi-saturating his natural right now, and yeah, I expect him to start speed as soon as he gets that 100 gas. He does have 6 lings coming out. That's quite a few lings. Usually, I'd expect maybe two, actually 8.
Whoa.
I don't know if he's going to try and do some damage when speed is done. It might be a good idea if he does lift his command center and put it at the natural because it will be fairly unguarded. But yeah, he's just going to rally them to the natural right now and see what he can find out.
It looks like Colonel is kind of floating some minerals here. I would expect him to drop 2 racks right now. He does have 300 minerals, actually up to 400 right now.
Oh, come
And
on, drop another command center, drop another command center.
yeah, I was going to say, he actually has the money for another command center. Not sure if he's going to do that. Turning to an orbital, but still floating a lot of money right now and not doing anything with it. There we go. A factory going
I
down.
totally thought that was a command center. I was like, yes! I have no idea what kind of build that would be, just quick, fast 3 command center. But yeah, he is going into that factory tech, so let's see what he can do here. Brad's Overlord is coming in right... no, he's actually just going to leave it at the third there. And we do see the SUV scooting on in, going to get past that queen, come up and see that there is no other war torn or anything like that. Actually, I don't know how much you'll see. You will see that there is no second gas, so how much information that really is to him, I'm not too certain, but yeah.
Now an Evo chamber going down. I thought it was a Roach Warren. I was about to say Roach Warren, but it is an Evo chamber. He could be going with a lot of lings
Dude, you're
and
getting
getting
your
a
wish
fast
right now.
upgrade. I am getting my wish. There's 3
3
factories
factories.
going down, a tech lab, and there is nothing on this racks right now as far as add-ons. It looks like the Overlord is going to get in here and do a bit of a suicide, get some information, but it looks like he will die. And the SCB is like, dude, I'm here too. I want to join this fight, but unfortunately not able to. We do see Hellions coming out and actually getting Blue Flame first, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty brave, actually, because if a Roach Warren would have gone down, you could be in a lot of trouble, and there is actually a Roach Warren down. So we'll need to get out some siege tanks and some bunkers. Even though you are going for mech, those early Marines, you can produce a couple more. This is more than I produce, but you can produce a couple more and throw them into bunkers. They don't have to have stim or shields, but you can throw them into a bunker, and it does help you kind of set up your defense, as mech can be really weak in the very early game.
Yeah, I was going to ask, well, first of all, that scout by Brad, his Overlord, caught sight of all three of those factories, so he's got to know what's coming. And also, I was going to say, do you and your mech build go for these three factories right away?
Not in the style that he did it. The way I like to do it is 2 Marines, and then you drop a factory with your next 50 gas, you get a reactor, swap that, get out some Hellions to put on a little pressure, get a second factory, get siege mode going, and I actually will get a armory before I get my third factory, just so I can make sure to get Thors out by about the 10-minute mark. Because you can expect Spire play by about 10 minutes, and if you're going for pure mech, you're extremely vulnerable to those Mutalisks until you have some turrets up and until you have some Thors out.
Yeah, exactly, and we do see these Hellions finally making their way across the map here. I would have liked them maybe to come out a little bit sooner, seeing if he could have poked, but he might be able to get a block on this ramp, and I think he's going to. No,
Ooh.
don't want to attack that, just keep on going, and yeah, Blue Flame is kind of good against these units, I heard, and he is going to take out a lot of drones at the natural here, actually less than I thought he was going to. Good block with the Queens on the ramp there, just hold position, and that rocks to the third are actually down, so he's just going to scoot on out there, scout the third, and head on home. So decent job by Colonel here. Good
choice by Colonel, not actually getting too aggressive. I thought he might there by a sign, kind of what he was doing earlier. I thought he might keep pursuing that, but he pulled out at a good time. He will be able to put one SV off the line and slowly repair all these Hellions back to full health. And there is actually a command center going down and armories on the way. We do see tanks coming out, 3 tanks actually. Siege mode is on the way, so getting up that tank count and pure mech, I'm really excited. And the third for our Terran player won't actually be that far behind the Zerg. But one thing to pay a lot of attention to is what tech is Brad going to go for. I've seen a lot of Zergs, at least on ladder against EC Zergs, respond very differently. They don't exactly have a complete uniform way to deal with this, but there's a bunch of Hellions running in, and they're going to clean up all of them. There we go. All of drones at that third base, and it looks like he's only going to lose 1 Hellion.
Yeah, that's very good. I expected Brad to actually go straight to muted tech when this lair finished, because he actually hasn't used anything with that lair tech quite yet. There's no speed roaches on the way. He does have +1 ranged finish, but yeah, he actually hasn't started anything. Roach is marching across the map right now, gonna catch these Hellions off guard, loses a couple here. Probably just pull those Hellions back because they're not very good against Roaches. Good decision there, and Brad is actually just gonna back off a little bit with these Roaches.
Siege tanks running up into the natural, sieging up exactly as they want to do. The food count is actually in the Terran's favor. Looking at the units count, the worker count is actually in the favor of the Terran as well, only by 1.
Ooh.
Pretty much no difference. We see the Hellions still trying to poke around here. Roaches, though, they've got their FR. They don't take any damage to these Hellions, and running the Hellions up into the base, and I'm not sure how worth it.
Oh god, one more could just do so much damage.
No.
Oh god, so many of those had 4 HP. That could have done a lot more damage, but good job just pulling those away by Brad. But I am a little scared that it is 61 SCVs to 56, and he is going to drop his third right now. So if he can saturate and stay on this third, he's in a good position, because Brad really needs to move up to another base kind of quickly here and start just making some more drones. Like, I think 75 or so is probably like the happy medium for a macro game for a Zerg player.
Looks like he's going to stay. Yeah, the drone, we're saying the drones is exactly right. Does need to drone up some more. There is a bunch of larvae and a decent amount of money, but it looks like he's going to choose roaches to go against this composition. And to be completely honest, I don't like that choice, going a ton of roaches. The siege tanks can do a lot of damage, and these Thors, hopefully we see mech upgrades continuing to come out. He's not actually doing that. I think that's very important in this build, but the Thors can do pretty decent against roaches as well. And really, it is hard for the Zerg to play against this matchup, and Festers can help out. And one of the biggest things that can help out is maxing out and continuing to trade, because it is very hard for Colonel, Terran player, to continue to remax this mech army.
Yeah, exactly. The siege tank, like you were saying, and Thors are going to be very effective against these roaches. Burrow is done. A nice scan by Colonel. Just seeing exactly what is at the bottom of the ramp here. He's got a good siege lined up, and he's just going to poke a little bit here. I still would like Brad to move up to another base, even though it would be difficult to defend. He could probably get that top left one there. He's got an Overlord just chilling, but he is moving those Thors. Ooh, those Thors are a little bit in a scary position, but they do just come in and hug those siege tanks, say, keep me safe, siege tanks. And oh god, he needs to scan immediately. All these roaches are going to unburrow on top of his army. I am very scared.
Oh wow, yeah, this mech army is going to get decimated right now. The tanks disappearing, Thors don't have any health, Hellions useless in this composition right now, and it looks like Colonel taking huge damage right now, down by over 30 fly. So that was pretty hard for him to deal with. He does know that Burrow's out, but definitely took a ton of damage. It is important to note that he did set up his third while this attack was going on. And but looking at his money, he does have a lot of cash right now, but not a lot of gas. That is a huge sign of mech play. As soon as you get a new base, you actually need gas more than you need the minerals. So he needs to build geysers on both of those as soon as possible. But it looks like there's a huge roach push coming in.
Yeah, exactly. He does need to get those gases, but I don't even think it's going to matter here because his Hellions are out on the middle of the map, and he has one Thor and two Thors and 3 siege tanks. So he is most likely going to lose this third. That planetaries go down very quickly. He needs to auto-repair ASAP, and yeah, there it goes. It is all down, and all those SCVs are probably going to get cleaned up. And yeah, I don't think this is going very well for Colonel.
Not looking good for Colonel. He's down by 70 right now as we see Brad is maxed out. He's actually getting out Hive Tech right now, getting out a single Roach as that's all his food will allow him, and continuing to get out upgrades, so playing this very, very well. There is a lot of Thors and tanks, so I'm not exactly sure if it would be able to push this. Now, he is running back to his base. What I would have liked to have seen is actually to kill those destructible rocks. I think that would be pretty interesting, just opening up any pathways to his Terran opponent. Didn't even have to pressure. He could just kill the rocks and allow it for another avenue and then pull back.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't even be I wouldn't even think it'd be bad if he just saw how much damage he could do with this maxed out Roach army, because Roaches aren't the best about this. I'm getting tongue-tied. Aren't the best against this composition, this mech composition that we see from our Terran player. So if he just basically A-moves all those Roaches and remaxes with anything that's good against this competition, you'd be doing very good. And we do see these Roaches burrowing in, and this could be the end for Colonel.
Yeah, so many Roaches just moving in here before the missile turret was actually up. Looks like he's getting pretty much a full surround and just burrows as soon as he doesn't feel like wants to fight. Colonel GG, and I'd love to see the mech play, but Colonel, he was doing pretty well, but that burrow full surround at kind of the top right-hand portion of the map really ended the game, right?
Yeah, that actually surprised me because he did scan and he saw a ton of burrowed ones there. And then he just kind of moved out on top of them as they were kind of coming in, and just no scan at all, and just raises up, and there goes his whole army. So that was definitely the beginning of the end for Colonel. Bad decision making on his part, but then again, we all make mistakes. So yeah, I have nothing else to add about that game.
Yeah, I think we kind of summarized it there. We'll take a quick break and get back with the next game. And would love to see some more mech. Not sure actually who's playing next, but regardless, we will be back. Thank you for watching the NSL. I am Cold Starcraft, casting with Sprawl, and 56 viewers. That's pretty cool. Thanks you guys for coming out.
Yeah, and Colonel actually just did say in chat, I knew that was coming too. I had no scan ready. So he actually used that first scan and then had no scan ready. So that is why he didn't get it. But then again, if he knew he had no scan ready, he probably should have just waited a little bit longer. But yeah, like I said, not a huge deal. Yeah, we're going to take a break right now.